Down here over at Subscribestar. So review sites are sort of massaging user reviews. If you don't like something because it's, I don't know, this typical standard Frankfurt School bullshit propaganda, then you're de facto a wrong thinker and your review doesn't count. Unless it's a high score, then it's okay for some reason. The left wing really doesn't want criticism at all. They want to make propaganda, but they don't want your opinions on it. Except, well, that's a master-slave relationship. Why would we accept you putting something out in the public sphere, in the open marketplace, and you don't want commentary on it? It's like, well, then don't put out in the public sphere then. What if the user... Oh, let me go to the game review. What if the user legitimately doesn't like fat chicks or BLT people or something else in the game? Their low score is still a legitimate score. There's something in the game that they don't like. These chubby-cheeked squirrel girls or BLT stuff, so they give it a low score. That's still a legitimate review. So love bombing review sites, in the case of this, far left-wing, toxic ideology propaganda, where left-wing shills will go love bomb a site. They'll give it an artificial, like they'll give, Willow and Witcher Blood Origin like 10 out of 10. You look at them like, no, there's no way you can give this stuff 10 out of 10, but it gets it. There's a big bunch of 10 out of 10 stuff. Like, did Willow deserve 10 out of 10? Why'd you give it 10 out of 10? It's diverse. Okay, well, I mean, that's an opinion, but it's just like, that's also a reason for someone to give it a 1 out of 10 because it's diverse. You value diversity, and the other people value the curative versus transformative. They value the original storyline. So love bombing review sites is totally organic and natural, but low scores are all from Russia or Chinese bots or something. If you don't, I mean, they call you a bot, and then you just engage in conversation with them back and forth. Like, do you know how bots work? I mean, this has got to be the best artificial intelligence on earth if I'm able to engage with you back and forth, and yet you still think you're talking to a bot, or it's some kind of weird left-wing copium. If you don't like something because it's pushing BLT propaganda, they feel that that's not a reason to dislike something, so it's not a valid review. I mean, why don't you just make a minimum score review for politically correct games that are propaganda. It's like, the minimum allowed score for this game is going to be a 7 out of 10. So the critic reviews, who are all far left-wing, toxic, alt-left globalist shills themselves, are giving it 8 out of 10, and the lowest user score can be a 7 out of 10. Just at that point, just give up. So your opinion based on your worldview is not legitimate unless it's a globalist pro-Pox Walks opinion. Are they saying that you're not free to hate the BLT agenda? Apparently not on Metacritic review sites, which means that it no longer has user reviews if it doesn't allow all user reviews. If you only allow pro-BLT reviews, then you've already manipulated the reviews. It's biased from the start, and you could assume that they've been massaging reviews for a while now. Think about what goes on with a review site and the pressure that's on them. A single movie might cost $200 million, plus that again in advertising. So domestically, it might have to reach $500 million just to break even. And games are also big budgets. So now you got a review site with one computer geek who's controlling the comment section. So if you're a game or a movie company, wouldn't you just hire the guy as a consultant for something and pay him to make sure that no low score ISTFO reviews are allowed? I mean, the temptation's got to be right there. Oh, yeah, we're going to pay you in cash, and this is going to be off the books. So that way you don't have to pay taxes on it. Oh, okay, that seems fine. I mean, it's like you're talking about $500 million, movies and stuff like that. And so somebody just has to roll up with a briefcase full of cash, and it's like it really could be that simple. So if the paid reviews are an 8 out of 10, and the users are giving it like a 3.5 out of 10, you just pay the guy to make sure that the score gets up to at least a 6. It's still a lower score, but it might not be enough to attract attention. Eventually, people will catch on because, social media is a thing. You can get on social media, and if everyone is saying, "Hey, this game, this movie really sucks," it's not a passing score, and yet the user reviews are saying it is a passing score. It's like eventually people are going to go, "Oh, this whole website is garbage," and the website would probably implode, probably. But I mean, it all depends how it's like as we devolve further and further into 1984. I don't know how much stuff is going to slip through the cracks. Anyway, so if you got a review site where you ban, and the thing is, I can't imagine paying for video games or movies in current year because you're supporting just the worst companies on earth. More so with the movies, because at least if the video games are Asian, it's a little bit different. But movies are no, I don't see how you could support a Disney or Amazon or one of these other parasitical vermin companies. So if you have a review site where you ban right wing views, then you don't have a review site. You have a propaganda site, which is the left wing is totally happy with. So some people on Twitter are saying that they gave it a low score for many reasons. And there's a guy on Twitter who's talking about the gameplay, and they're going back. I guess I could show that. Okay, a couple of guys are going through, and they're talking about the game. It sounds like they're very familiar with the game. They're talking about nuanced details of the game that only a player of the game would know, and they're saying that the various technical reasons they don't like it, but these Twitter kids, these useful idiots who know the game is political propaganda, are coming in there and they're just defending these billion-dollar companies, but there's an emotional connection in there. You look at them like, wait, why are you emotionally tied into this company, this billion-dollar video game company, unless there's some deeper meaning behind it? It's like, yeah, there is a deeper meaning. The deeper meaning is that these aren't just video games; these are propaganda. So some people on Twitter are saying that they gave it a low score for many reasons, not just that it has a obese fuzz bumper, but for the gameplay reasons. And the response against their comments are immediate ad hominems, deflections, and strawman attacks. The useful idiot Twitter soybots are emotionally attached to defending these billion-dollar companies because they know these globalist parasites are spreading Bolshevik propaganda through their games and movies. If you told me 20 years ago that the left wing would openly defend these soulless global homogenization billion-dollar companies, I would have had a hard time believing it. But they do. They absolutely do. The left has been completely subverted in the past 20 years. That old image of the left as a hippy-dippy bearded couple with straw hats and working in the garden or a small farm or something with no TV, the kill your TV messaging. If you don't trust the media and the government and big tech, then you're probably a far right-wing extremist. That's how subverted by globalists the left has become. Trust the science. Have you examined the science for yourself? No. We need to censor all scientists who disagree. But you don't trust science. That's not how science works. You always question science and ask to see sources and examine bias. Oh, no, we're not going to do that this time. Why exactly are you not going to? Have you heard the phrase "follow the money" and who benefits? Oh, those are far right-wing dog whistles. Really? Because they used to be left-wing dog whistles like 20 years ago. The modern left has completely abandoned independent free thinking, all because of the peer pressure of social media. A hippie commune somewhere talking about the brainwashing from the media would now be seen as propagating dangerous, extreme right-wing dog whistles. The left is not the left anymore. It's global homogenization. So they have to be on board the left-wing messaging in video games and movies, because otherwise you'll get endlessly attacked by other left-wingers on social media. If you have the wrong opinion on a video game because you don't agree with BLT propaganda, these unhinged, useful idiots will call your employer, get you fired, then call your bank account, have them cancel your account. They want to destroy your life if you disagree with whatever the current narrative is. If you don't support the current thing, I don't. Hey, more money for foreign countries. We have homeless tent cities throughout America and nobody seems to care. Hey, more money for Ukraine, Israel, and the Middle East. Why? If you have excess taxpayer money, how does a country that's in debt give money away to other countries? Oh, it's a loan. It's not a loan if it doesn't get paid back. The country's in debt. You have homeless tent cities. You have a country falling apart. If you have sufficient money to give to foreign countries, then you shouldn't be spending it domestically. You should be cutting the taxes and letting people handle their own money. What are you, like a far right Hugo Boss or something? To cut taxes? That's where we are now? The Founding Fathers and the Tea Party? Anyway, I don't know if the head in the sand normie is paying attention to how bad things already are. Things are way, way deep into, I'll say Sodom and Gomorrah already. If they label you and your opinions as abusive and toxic, then they can shut you down. Any views that aren't globalists are automatically toxic, far right-wing nationalists and must not be allowed. The left wing, were they authoritarians the whole time, and they really don't want a diversity of thought? Yeah, that's they want to silence. They keep showing this Karl Popovich's. It's his. He's promoting censorship. I forget. It was the tolerance of intolerant of tolerance or something like, why you must not tolerate free speech. It's Popovich's paradox of tolerance or something like this, and then, like, you could turn around and go, oh, so we should not tolerate globalism, communism, and left wing belief systems. So on the left wing, they keep posting this meme, and you look at them, you go, so what you're saying in this meme is you want to censor people right now because you fear that the right wing will censor in the future. But the right wing is saying they want free speech now, and you're saying legitimately, openly, that you need to censor people right now. Dear Karl Popovich and the left wing who keeps posting that meme, you're the bad guys because you're the ones who are pushing censorship right now. The things you're saying are on their face asinine. Anyway, so the guy's going through and talking about platinuming the game, and then you get this weird emotional response from people because they know the game is not just a game. Like, you should be able to discuss a game coolly. But they can't do that because there's this emotional attachment because they know the game is pushing propaganda. Or like The Little Mermaid. Why is it like, it's just this, it's like, it's Disney. It's just a soulless corporate parasite company. Why would you get emotionally attached to Disney or Little Mermaid or all these other movies? It's like, it's weird to see the left wing openly defend $1 billion. They have that meme of someone defends Musk because someone says something that's just openly a lie about Musk, and they post a meme about some guy jumping in front of an arrow to protect Musk from legitimate criticism. You go, but you posted a lie and some guy just corrected you. It's like, you could just replace that with Disney or Amazon or Netflix, where these obese cat ladies and soy boys are defending these $1 billion companies. And you're looking for, like, aren't you ashamed of yourself? You're raging for the machine now. And what happened in the 1990s, where this would be a left wing position to say, oh yeah, all these giant parasitical companies are just these propaganda, that they live levels of propaganda. And suddenly the left wing finds themselves defending, like, Chase Bank, Bank of America, Disney, Apple, and Google. Like, what happened to the left? Oh, they got subverted and corrupted. It's like some parasite just took them over and it's controlling every aspect of their being. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys all next episode.